funds in a moment. Ashish, so markets have obviously been very positive. We've seen the Nifty hit a lifetime high. What's your sense forward? Now, I mean, has the market already discounted now what the win and is now poised to see what else is going to happen? Or, I mean, where do we go from here is really the question.
See, Govind, the overall trend for the markets have been positive, not just now, it has been positive for quite some time. And the rally that started from 7,900 was already probably discounting something like this is going to happen. A very, very interesting thing that I will point out is that in 2014 also, BJP had a very, very clear victory at the central election, but the rally in market started in 2013 October, November itself. So the markets were already rallying before the election time, and this was no different. Even it was a UP state election outcome, but the markets were already rallying before the election outcome, and probably it was already discounting smartly that something like this is going to happen. Also, one very interesting aspect is that after the announcement, there was a huge gap up opening based on the fact that a clear majority and a clear mandate from UP is indicating that the upcoming elections after 2 years is going to help government to probably again come into power. And if that happens, we are going to see some very, very golden era, I would say, because it brings stability for the year, not just for this 5 years, but it is going to bring stability for next 5 years as well. And that is what markets are discounting right now. Nevertheless, the PE ratios have been at the higher levels. The mid-cap PE ratios have been at the higher level, so that is definitely a concern, but markets are discounting good times ahead. And I think from long-term perspective, from 3 to 5 years or longer perspective, we are going to enter into a golden era.
So Ashish, I'm assuming when markets are high and this discounting is happening, there is an expectation that the government will continue to deliver something or deliver something more than what has already been delivered from an economic perspective. So what would that be in your estimation, Ashish?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if this is happening, the expectation is definitely high, and this time markets are already expecting that the policies that were probably not being cleared and were struggling to clear. Even GST took so much of time. Going forward, any other new policies that the government comes out with is going to be cleared with a clear majority, and it's not going to take much of the time. The implementation and execution of the new policies that government is going to come out with is going to be faster than before, and that is what markets are discounting. So this is going to provide a very positive boost in terms of sentiments for the sectors like private sector banks, I would say, for sectors something like cement sector, because if the infrastructure spending increases, if the overall construction of roads increases, if the wealth distribution, the policies with the government coming out is taking away wealth probably from the people who are earning more towards the poor within the interiors, if that happens, then that is really going to boost the economy from the core, from the very agri space. So that is going to be a very, very important observation that the markets are going to do over next 6 months, 1 year to 2 years horizon till the next election comes out.
Right, Ashish. So there are two parts to it. So one is the steps that are taken and the direction of reform. I mean, to use the word reform in that the government or the government as a factor in determining the direction of the market is not really going to be an issue in coming months or maybe a couple coming years.
Definitely going. I think the actions and the steps that the government will be taking in near future is going to be faster, and the execution is going to be in a much efficient way, which is going to definitely help the overall economic development. This is in turn going to help prosper the profitability of the companies. The capacity utilizations are going to be much better than they are currently, which is very, very low as of now. The overall business is going to pick up. So what has happened after demonetization? There were a lot of skeptics that probably Honorable Prime Minister might be losing out its shine, but this clear victory clearly showed that majority of the people are still extremely optimistic about the way he has functioned, and the outcome of demonetization might not be completely met, but it has still pointed towards digital India and the way companies are going to function. So it's going to give boost to the infra, it's going to give boost to the IT sector as a whole, and the private banking norms as a whole. It's going to provide very, very efficient way. So I think banking, auto, IT, and these are the sectors that are going to be the major beneficiary going forward, and when these sectors outperform, nothing can stop it.
No, I just want to say another point is that it's important to address the NPAs, because this is